on to the top focus story here on Blueprint Explosive Exclusive. Well, there has been a certain lobby that has been consistently perpetrating an anti-India narrative and even projecting India as anti-Muslim. In fact, we saw it happen when the BBC documentary was released, when the banned series projected India and Prime Minister Modi in bad light, completely devoid of the facts as per the centre, which was put forward by the SIT and the courts. Now, Pakistan has also interestingly echoed the ecosystem's view on multiple occasions, with Pakistani Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif once going on record to say that India has unleashed its brute and oppressive state apparatus to browbeat Indian Muslims into submission, a narrative that the Indian government has tried to counter. However, this propaganda has given a huge knockout blow by one of their own today. Well, the man on your screens, the Pakistani Defence Minister, has sounded a wake-up call to the Pakistan government. While addressing the Pakistani National Assembly on the wake of Peshawar suicide attack, he goes on record saying that Muslims are not even persecuted the way in India, the way that they are being persecuted in Pakistan. An admission, remember, from one of the biggest enemies of India.
मैं फिर कहूंगा कि नमाजियों के ऊपर मस्जिद के अंदर इबादत के वक्त जो है कत्लेआम जो है ना हिंदुस्तान में होता है ना इजराइल में होता है, जो दुश्मन है हमारे, लेकिन पाकिस्तान में होता है, जहां पे जितने फिरके हैं उतनी दीनी जमातें हैं और वो सियासत में हिस्सा लेती हैं। हम सियासतदान भी कभी कभी कंफ्यूज हो जाते हैं कि किनु किनु खुश रखिए। मैं किसी की दिल आजारी नहीं करना चाहता, लेकिन ये हकीकतें हैं, इसको जब तक कौम जो है वो फेस नहीं करेगी, ये मरहला एक ऐसा मरहला है कि यहां पे इंट्रोस्पेक्शन की जरूरत है। हमें अपने गिरेबान में झांकना पड़ेगा कि हम कहां पे खड़े हैं। जनाब स्पीकर, सारी कौम को मुत्तहिद होना चाहिए दहशतगर्दी के खिलाफ, फिर दहशतगर्दी का मुकाबला होगा।
Well, this comment has been welcomed by leaders from across the political spectrum in India who say that the country has always been tolerant and is a big message to those who are trying to portray the country under a certain lens.
Well, it reminds me of what Hillary Clinton said. If you keep snakes in your backyard, they will ultimately come and bite you also. And this is happening with Pakistan also. And Imran Khan is on record. He said that he has some 30,000 odd terrorists and he needs to deploy them somewhere. So if he is not able to deploy them somewhere, then they are biting them within the nation. So Pakistan need to gear up for this, because ultimately if you prepare a terrorist, he has to do his activity. If he doesn't get a chance somewhere else, he'll do it in the nation.
This is rightly said, this Pakistan Honorable Minister, but this is the result of India's policy of secularism. This secularism, it is the social fabric, it is the main foundation of our constitution and the life of Indian people. That is this policy of secularism. So India has strictly, in letter and spirits, India has applied secularism, and therefore this type of casualty, this type of killings, this type of heinous acts in India nowhere seen during worships or to the worshippers.
अब देखिए, वहाँ के माननीय मंत्री जी ने जो बातें कही है, ये तो अब पाकिस्तान के माननीय मंत्री जी को ये बात का तो एहसास है कि जो बात आज पाकिस्तान में जिस तरह से अटैक हुआ, ये तो हम लोग तो धर्मनिरपेक्ष देश कहलाता है भारत, यहाँ तो सभी धर्मों का सम्मान है।
Well, you've already heard the Pakistan Defence Minister pleading to the government to wake up to the reality of terror. Even their own ministers now admit to the government that the government must indeed do better in its fight against terror. But there are still some within India who want talks with Pakistan and have even fueled the anti-Muslim narrative within the country. In fact, the Congress today continues to claim that Muslims are being targeted in the country.
तो कौन सा पाकिस्तान से हम बेहतर हो गए हैं? ये साइकी की बात है। उस वहाँ की साइकी के इस तरह से अफगानिस्तान, वैली कश्मीर में, पंजाब, सिंध उन लोगों का मिलिटेंसी नेचर है, इट्स इन देयर नेचर। लेकिन वही चीज हम भी कर रहे हैं, कौन सा फर्क कर रहे हैं? सत्यानाश हो रहा है इस देश का, हम क्या कर रहे हैं?
Well, let me go across to our panelists. Joining us today, Captain Alok Bansal, the director of India Foundation here on our show. We are also joined by Tahir Malik, a journalist. Tahir Malik, I'm going to come to you first, because there is a certain ecosystem in India who have been saying that minorities are being maligned and specifically targeted by the Indian government. Should they today take a reality check when you have one of the fiercest critics, and when I say critics, actually one of the fiercest enemies of India, Pakistan, their own defense minister coming on record inside their own parliament saying the Muslims are treated much better in India?
So let me admit that Pakistan is a pluralistic society and we have different perspectives. And the second aspect is that we do regular introspection. So there are problems, there are issues, there are challenges in Pakistan. But in India, you don't have to celebrate that all is not well in India. You see the recent controversy about Gujarat carnage. India has banned BBC movie. And don't forget, couple of days ago, there is the right-wing Hindu fascism mindset, Godse, which murdered Mahatma Gandhi, one of the greatest leaders.
If you're so worried about secularism in India, Tahir Malik, why is your own defense minister on the assembly saying that India is more tolerant? Your own defense, that wasn't me, that wasn't anyone in India.
Movement. You just have to read out Arundhati Ray's books and articles to get to know India's secular character is under threat.
Then why did your defense minister himself in parliament said that? Captain Alok Bansal, it's interesting, and perhaps one would imagine that this kind of a response would be coming in from Pakistan. But the truth, as even Rahul Gandhi once had very famously said, has a way of coming out. Is that what it is, Captain Bansal, when you have...
See, there is no doubt the manner in which the Peshawar attack was carried out. It actually shows that this virus of radicalization, this virus of extremism has seeped through the body politic of Pakistan to such an extent that even establishment within highly secure area where the police lines were there, a target has been done. And it very clearly shows that some of the security personnel were clearly involved or were in cohort with the person who has actually carried out the attack. Now, what the defense minister of Pakistan said, and is right, he said that even in India and Israel, which is considered as so-called LT Palestinian, worshipping people have never been targeted. But in Pakistan, it has become a regular feature. Peshawar has been targeted, the number of mosques, number of shrines that have been targeted. And because of this extremist ideology, because of this two-nation theory where they said that the Muslims of the subcontinent are a separate nation, the next logical question which Pakistan is facing is who's a Muslim? There is a conflict between sects, within subsects, and every religious place of every sect and subsect has been targeted. And in this particular case, now we are seeing that the Taliban, who they had nurtured so that they could capture power in Afghanistan, are now actually coming to bite them, because TTP has been harbored by them, and now TTP is targeting the Pakistan, and we have seen how TTP has come back.
The Prime Minister has been forced to accept it, that they are today paying for the sins that they have committed in their intent to bleed India through 1,000 cuts. The very snakes that they had been giving milk to are the ones who are today coming around biting them. Well, Mr. Tahir Malik, I think today, for once, you should be on the same side of the table, because Alok Bansal is agreeing with your own defense minister and what he said inside the parliament of Pakistan. But we are running out of time. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us. With